Miss Carter.
And I'm Miss Taylor. Hey guys.
And we're so glad that you're joining us today on Facebook Live. This is our first time doing this, so we're a little nervous.
And excited.
But we miss our baby so much, so we just want to say hey to all of our kiddos.
Hey guys.
And our parents, just want to send a big thank you out.
We're so grateful for all that you've done for your little ones at home. We really appreciate it.
All the parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles out there doing a great job. You're doing a great job. So we're all in this together.
Yes, we are.
So today we are going to practice telling time. And that's going to be a lot of fun. But before we start, we thought we would warm our brains up.
Let's do a warm up.
Get going, get moving, get your brain moving, and we're going to subitize.
All right.
All right. Miss Taylor's going to help subitize. I'm going to make sure you can see. All right, Miss Taylor, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I have 2 cards that total 2. What is the value of the missing card?
You guys have to help me out there. I've got 1. I got to get to 2. I'm missing 1. Yep, 1. That's right.
Good job. I have 2 cards that total 3. What is the value of the missing card?
I got 2 and I got to make my way to 3. I think I'm missing 1.
Oh, good job. I have 2 cards that total 5. What is the value of the missing card?
Could it be 3?
Way to go!
Yay.
All right, let's do a couple more and then we're going to start telling time.
Okay.
I have 2 cards that total 1. What is the value of the missing card?
I would say if there's already 1 there, then it's 0.
Okay, I have 2 cards that total 5. What is the value of the missing card?
I gotta make my way to 5. So let's see what I got. I got 1. That means I gotta go 4 more. Yay!
Oh, good job. All right, guys. So that gets our mind jumping and going. All right. So Miss Taylor's going to talk about our standard today that we're going to be focusing on.
All right. We're gonna be looking at MD7, which is telling and writing time from analog and digital clocks to the nearest 5 minutes, and being able to tell the difference between AM and PM. So those are the details of our standard for today.
So what is really cool about today is that you're going to do such a great job, because one of the major parts about telling time on an analog clock, which is a circular clock. Miss Taylor, do you know where I miss seeing my analog clock?
On our wall at school in our classrooms.
That's right. That's where I have the analog clock that I use the most, is at school. What about you, Miss Taylor?
Definitely at school.
Well, then there's digital clocks like this. Wonder where we see digital clocks, Miss Taylor. Where's somewhere you see?
I know I see them in my
What
kitchen.
about in your car? Where do you see them?
I see them on my dashboard in my car.
So we have them in the kitchen, like on the stove. And
Microwave.
And in the car, we definitely see it on our stereo up there, right?
Yep.
We're jamming the music. So digital clocks are really cool because they're really easy to tell the time, because it has the hour, which is the whole, and then it has the minutes, which that is the part, okay? However many minutes is the part of the whole that's there, okay? So what do we know about time, Miss Taylor?
I know that you have to be able to count by 5s to be able to tell time.
5s?
5s.
I can count by 5s. Can you count by 5s?
I totally can count
Okay,
by 5s.
let's do it together. You want to?
All right, ready? Let's go.
I'm going to start with 0. Let's see. How far do you think we should go?
I think we should go to 60 today.
60? Why don't you tell those kids to be quiet outside the door out there?
I sure will.
Yeah, do it.
Our own children need to please go away, honey. I'm tending. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, back to
so we're going to
business.
60. You ready?
60.
I'm going to start. Let's see if
Go.
we can do it. I'm 0,
5,
10,
15,
20,
25,
30,
35,
40,
45,
50.
55.
What does that mean when
That
we get to
means-
60?
60 means the full hour, 60 minutes, Miss Carter.
It's 60 minutes, because 60 minutes equal 1 hour.
That's right.
And that's what makes telling time a little tricky on an analog clock, because you have to count. There's 2 units that we're measuring. We're measuring hours, which is measured with which tool?
The small hand.
So the small hand is measuring the hours, which are on the inside of the analog clock. Okay, you see those really clearly. And then the other unit we're measuring would be minutes.
That's this big hand right here.
Okay.
And as you can see on the outside of it, you have the minutes counting in increments of 5.
And so it's kind of like magic, because they work together so well. But there are 5 minutes going from here to here. Every time you move to a digit on the clock, that's 5 minutes. So that's why you have to be able to count by fives. Okay?
All right, super important to count by
Super
fives.
important.
And we
So-
practice that a lot, so hopefully you guys have practiced too in your classes.
Where else do we count by fives, Miss Taylor?
You count by fives with money.
With what?
Nickels.
Money. That's
Money,
all.
money.
We gotta count money, right? So
Totally.
Miss Taylor is going to talk about our 2 acre charts that she's created.
I'm going to pull
And
this a little
It's going
closer.
to help you tell about the different types of clocks and even a schedule from AM and PM.
All right, so the first one right here is my telling time to the nearest 5 minutes anchor chart. And as you can see, I have a pink analog clock that I made, and I have an orange digital clock that I made. And so this yellow one that I held up earlier is also an example of an analog clock. So these two are the same. You can see them on watches sometimes, and you can see them on the wall, right? So this one right here has the numbers on the inside. Those are our hours, like Miss Carter had said just a minute ago. And these numbers in increments of 5 on the outside are our minutes. We've got our small hand, which represents the hours. We've got our long, large hand that represents our minutes, which are on the outside. Then right here we have a digital clock, and the digital clock is what we said we see a lot in our kitchen, in our cars, on our computers, on our tablets, okay? So right here we have the first number on our digital clock is the hour. That's the whole. Then we have these 2 dots. That's called a colon. That separates our whole and parts, our hours and our minutes. Over here to the right side of the colon, the 2 dots, are the minutes. And the minutes start at 00. That's the beginning of a new hour. And the 00 on a digital clock is called the o'clock. So when you see 3 and 2 zeros, it's read 3 o'clock. Okay, the start of the 3 o'clock hour. All right, analog clocks get to skip count by fives. Remember, we just practiced skip counting by fives, and I'm sure you guys did a great job at home doing that. And I have my little arrow pointing to the fives on the outside of the clock to represent counting by fives for our minutes. So when the minute hand is at the 1, it's 5 minutes after the hour. Then you keep counting. The next time, when it hits 2, it's at 10 minutes. 3, it's at 15 minutes after the hour, and so forth, until we travel all the way around clockwise to the 12, and that starts the new hour, and that starts the o'clock, just like we had over here. Okay, another couple facts to remember. We already said there are 60 minutes in an hour. Super important to remember that, 60 minutes in 1 hour. Then the other thing that's super important to know and remember is that the hour hand is between 2 numbers when it is half the hour. So I'm going to show you what that means. All right, so say I have my clock set at 1:30. Okay, 1:30. Or actually, let's do 2:30. All right, so when it's at 2:30, notice the minute hand is at the 6. So if I count by fives, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's 30 minutes past the hour. Well, what hour are we looking at? We're looking at 2 because we haven't hit the 3 yet. Let's notice something about this hour hand. Is it pointing straight at the 2? No. Is it pointing straight at the 3? No. That's because we are halfway through this 2 o'clock hour, which means the hour hand is going to be in the middle of the 2 and the 3 because you're in the middle of the 2 o'clock hour getting to the 3 o'clock. So once this minute hand travels 30 more minutes to the 12, then magically this hour hand is going to hit the 3. And notice I didn't even have to move the hour hand. It moves on its own. So if you see me move my minute hand, notice how my hour hand is moving as well. Now that's not magic, kids. That is time. Time, the hours are moving as the minutes move. But the hours move slower. So as you can see, that hour hand is moving quite a bit slower than the minute hand. Okay? So that's what I mean by the hours between the 2 numbers when it is in the half hour. Now I'm going to explain a little bit about AM and PM. By doing this, we are showing you a sample schedule, maybe what your schedule looks like to explain AM and PM. A lot of times people think AM is morning, which that is correct, and PM is night. However, PM is not only night, it's afternoon as well, and I'm going to explain that. So right here at 12 o'clock AM, we are all in the bed sleeping. Hopefully, you're sleeping. This is also called midnight. But it's kind of deceiving because it's not really nighttime. It's actually early morning, even though it's called midnight. So then these early morning hours of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m., you're snoozing. Hit 6 o'clock a.m., early morning, still a.m., you're waking up for school. 7 o'clock a.m., you're 7 o'clock a.m., 8 o'clock a.m., 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, all the way to 11:59, you are working at school. When you hit 11:59, that is breaking into afternoon time. Once you hit the 12, it becomes p.m. So that's the last minute before the afternoon. And when it starts p.m., it's 12 o'clock p.m. That's also known as afternoon. So p.m. starts the afternoon. That's lunchtime. And then you go all the way through the afternoon to 3 o'clock p.m., still in the afternoon. Then you go home, go all the way to 6 o'clock p.m., you have supper, travel all the way to 9 o'clock p.m. is your bedtime. Look we're still in p.m. That trip took us all the way from the early afternoon all the way to the nighttime. Then you go to 11:59 p.m. and you're still got that last minute before it turns a.m. again. When it turns a.m., we're back to midnight, 12 a.m. and the cycle repeats itself and we start a new day. Thank you guys so much for paying attention to AM and PM. And now it's Miss Carter's turn.
Okay, so I just have a couple more minutes and then it's time for us to go until the next time. I wanted to talk about a bar model because we've been using bar models and I'm sure lots of teachers across the county use bar models. But a bar model is just a pictorial representation or a picture of a problem. So bar models help us understand problems and they help us break it down, okay? So I took an hour, a bar models all represent our part and our equal, which is the same value as, and then our total, okay? So the total amount of minutes in an hour is 60 minutes. There's 60 minutes in 1 hour. And so I wanted to break it down into half. And so half of an hour would be 30 minutes. And that would mean the other half of an hour would be 30 minutes. And this kind of helps us see that. You see that? How it's broken down into 2 equal parts? 2 equal parts are halves, okay? I'm going to show you that real quickly on a clock, okay? And so this clock is telling us that it is 10:30, and you can see that that's half past the whole hour, okay? So the last thing that we're going to do is we're just going to practice telling time, okay? So Miss Taylor, you want to come count with me while we go around the clock?
I would love to, Miss Carter.
Oh, yay. Okay, so let's start at 2 o'clock. I love 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock is wonderful.
I love 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock's when I used to read to my babies at school. We did, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Every day.
We miss them. All right, so it's 2 o'clock, and we're going to go, let's go 2:30. What would that be, Miss Taylor?
2:30, that means it's half the 2 o'clock hour. I'm past half the 2 o'clock hour. I'm thinking it'd be 2:30.
2:30, you're a genius.
I'm a
2:30.
genius.
Here we go, ready? 2 o'clock.
Here we
2:00. Miss Taylor, count with me.
2:05.
Then 2.
2:10. 2:15. 2:20. 2:25. The 6 means 2:30. Half past the hour.
Okay, let's go back. Let's see if we can make it to 3 o'clock. You want to?
I want to keep going.
Let's do it.
Let's count by
Okay,
fives.
here we go.
All right, 2:30, 2:35, 2:40, 2:45. Look how my hour hand's moving and I'm not even touching
like magic.
it.
It's magic.
2:50, 2:55, and we don't say 2:60. We say 3 o'clock. It's a new hour. Yay!
So practice with your parents. And I know sometimes it's hard to find an analog clock, but what you could do is maybe your parents have an old watch. I actually had one upstairs and Miss Taylor has one that looks like this. And you can take it and move the hands and practice with your parents, okay? Well, we love everybody.
Love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in,
Bye,
watching our
guys.
time.